question around what is our nature versus a need or a desire we have as a result of perhaps our upbringing or, unhealed wounds or something like that. Like, how do we distinguish between what is just part of our nature and not some unhelpful kind of desire that we need to try and kind of work on, a hangover from unresolved things from perhaps our upbringing or our conditioning?
Perhaps one way to look at this is to say that however it got there, it's your nature. So there are things that you're born with. Your love of animals. Where did that come from? I don't know. I was born with it. I have a great fear of dogs. Why? Well, because of this experience that I had when I was 6. Okay, so you do know where that one came from, or at least you think you know. You have an explanation for it. But ultimately, if you really get down to it, if you were going to bet the lives of your family and your family home and all of your wealth on knowing where the things in your personality, where they came from, I think we'd very quickly say, actually, I don't really know where my fear of dogs came from. I have this story that it's because of this thing happened when I was 6, but I ain't going to bet my family's lives on it. I'm not going to bet the family home and all of my savings on that belief. What if I'm wrong? You don't know where your nature came from. So in that sense, you can dispense with the whole, where did it come from? Did it come from A place or B place or C place? Instead, the question that you raised was important, which is now, how do I deal with it? Okay, well, first of all, what does it look like as behavior? And this is an important place to start, is behavior, because that's the terminus of all of our beliefs. I do this. It degrades my well-being and the well-being of others when I do this. Okay, good. You've identified that there is a problem with that, say, behavior. From behavior, you then start to look at the attitudes that drive it. You can start to find the underlying desires. I have a strong desire to control my environment by doing such and such. Looking at those beliefs that underlie them and then addressing those beliefs there. And again, I'm not going into the details here. But to your broader question of, did it come from, say, past trauma, or was I born with it? It's not that relevant, because the stuff that comes from past trauma also can make you a better human being. I often use this example. I know someone who, in the early part of their marriage, went through a very traumatic time with their husband, who eventually passed away. She's turned that trauma into acceptance of other people's struggles. She was traumatized, and that trauma has made her a more compassionate and forgiving human being. Does she need to heal her trauma? In a similar way, did it come from trauma? Was I born with it? Did it come from a good experience? Did it come from a bad experience? If you want to investigate these things, by all means do so, but don't expect that this is going to solve your problems. Instead, evaluate what is. It's almost like you want to say to yourself, there's no such thing as the past. My future state depends only upon my present. There is no memory of anything that happened from this point backwards. There is no prior moment. There is no prior state. There's only the present state. Okay, this is the present state. What's my next move then? And from that perspective, all of the story around where it came from, whether it's nature, whether it's nurture, whether it's positive experience, whether it's traumatic experience, it just falls away. You have your present state, and that's all you've got. You don't have your past. You might think you have a past, but that is just a story you're telling yourself in the present moment. From your present state, what needs to be different and why? So figuring out where it came from can be an effective use of our energies, but as a strategy, it has limited application. It has some, but don't expect it to deliver more than it can.